Hi, everyone. Today, I would like to introduce you to Matthew Gourgeot, the head of corporate and business development for Thrive. Matthew, welcome.
Thanks, Lance. I'm excited to be here and get to hang out with you for a little bit.
Well, Matthew, can you share a little bit about Thrive and what you guys do?
Yeah, so Thrive is a publicly traded software company. We're headquartered in Dallas. We help entrepreneurs, business owners, and franchises in the US, Canada, and Australia. And in the simplest terms, Thrive helps small businesses navigate the customer experience. So as you're interacting with consumers, they have really high expectations nowadays, and managing that whole experience from the time they're a lead to a paying customer to hopefully a repeat customer and an advocate for your business. There's a lot of different tools that you need, and a lot of small businesses are using many different tools to manage that process. And what's really neat about Thrive is that it's a software that allows you to manage that all on one platform, and it's very easy to use.
So, I know that you guys work through the whole customer experience, and there may be some other people that try to do some stuff similar. Can you talk about how Thrive does things a little bit different?
Yeah, so my team and I were talking a little bit about this morning. I was on a flight to Scotland last week, and I was trying to tell this lady from Marriott what I do for a living. And I think of it in terms of a little bit like an orchestra. You've got all these various instruments in an orchestra, playing one tune or one song. When you're working with consumers, there's before they interact with you, being online, there's scheduling. They're in some kind of database or CRM. Maybe they saw you on social media. You're trying to book appointments, right? You're issuing estimates, invoices, payments. After they become a customer, you're asking for reviews and trying to create repeat business. And that whole process is that customer journey, right? And when you talk about customer experience, it's just how someone feels about your brand or your business at every point in that journey. And the way that when going back to that orchestra thing is that there's all these tools that you need to manage that, and small businesses and specifically franchisees normally are using 7 or 8, sometimes 10 different tools to manage that, and that's really tough to train, to scale. And Thrive is an all-in-one platform. So we have all the tools you need, but it's on one system, one login, and that's essentially what we're doing for small business. And that's what what my team does in franchising.
Well, let's just take a few of those things through that customer journey of what all it does. Almost like a customer experience CRM. So let's go through and say when this and this and this is part of here, and then when people move on, we do this and this and this and keep track of it so that they can kind of really envision this.
Yeah, so I think when you're thinking of the customer experience or customer journey, right, you would think of it in three components, like before, during, and after the sale. So if you think of before, let's say, Lance, you owned a franchise location or a small business. I'm probably looking for you, or a business like what the product or service that you offer. I'm going to Google, potentially social media, right? And I'm looking for your industry, and I might find your Google profile, or I might interact with you, right, to call or to try to schedule. And Thrive helps business owners, one, appear online, but then manage their Google profiles and the various different listing sites out there, along with their social media. So that's kind of the before process, right? When I make a phone call or go to your website to try to schedule, we have a scheduling tool within the Thrive platform that can help an interested lead, interact with you as a small business owner. Once I do interact with you, at the core of Thrive's Business Center is a CRM. It's a CRM that, just like with many other CRMs, you can segment your customer base in there. And so from your online presence to scheduling to the CRM, that's kind of that before piece of the customer journey. But then once, maybe I schedule that appointment, you're coming out to my house. If you're a home-based business, you come out to my house, or maybe I'm going to your physical location if you're a brick and mortar business. Inside that platform, we also allow the business owner to manage, put different staff members in there. There's a calendar to manage your staff members' calendar. You can issue estimates, invoices, and take payments within our platform. So it acts as a point of sale system as well. And then hopefully, once I, do business with you, Lance, and I pay that invoice, or you set me up on a kind of a recurring payment or whatever your business model is, right? You want to follow up with that customer to, one, get them to come back, or two, be an advocate, right? To go out there and really refer you to other people in the community. And so after the payment portion of Thrive, we have other tools like automated review request, and we have email and text nurtures that are in the platform that will reach back out to that customer to ask for and solicit and get reviews. You can also respond to reviews in the platform. And within Thrive, we have email and text capabilities. You can set up email campaigns. You can set up automated campaigns to kind of go off at any time during the customer journey. So it's a lot, but at the same time, small business owners are juggling a lot, when they're trying to woo and excite and really provide a good experience for the consumer. It's really tough to do, and normally they're using 7 or 8 different tools to do it. And our thing is that you could just use Thrive, one platform.
It's a lot easier. Just think, even imagining the logins and flipping between tabs and screens and not having connected data to where you can actually, see the numbers, as the conversation, the conversion journey and all that stuff. So, um, I know you probably have a lot, but do you have a couple of your most memorable stories of companies that started working with Thrive and what it did for them?
Yeah, I mean, we have 50, almost 55,000, or we're getting close to 60,000 subscribers that use the platform. A lot of those are local independent businesses. We have almost 4 dozen franchise brands, all ranging from startup brands to more established brands that are using the platform as well. And I think that um, in my role, I get to meet with a lot of different franchisors, and so there's a lot of different situations that I come across. Um, we've had a brand that was really, really unorganized, but had a great business. And by instituting Thrive, if you think about what that does, that kind of standardizes the customer experience across all your locations, right? It really standardizes a lot of your reporting and your finances. And after a year or so on our platform, that business was able to be acquired by a platform company. So we spent some time working with that franchisor to kind of really get their house in order so that they could sell it. Their lifelong dream, they had been running the company for 15 years, grew it to 50 locations, and then they were able to sell that. And I was very happy to help that owner do that. Um, you know, when you're thinking of making a switch in software, specifically in franchising, there's a lot of turmoil around moving from one system to the next, right? Let's say you have 10 locations, and those franchisees are accustomed to a certain way of doing things, and then you come in as the franchisor and you say, hey, by the way, we're switching to this process, right? Or this. There's a lot that goes into that, and I could give you countless stories about how we helped various brands transition from whatever they were doing before to Thrive in a very seamless way that didn't, their franchisees didn't really revolt, and we're actually happy, with what's going on, because it made the whole point of this is to make the franchisees' life easier.
Yeah, I could see, anytime you change or add new software, there is a little bit of a instantaneous like headache that goes, "Oh no, this is going to be a lot." And it's something I have to learn and so yeah, definitely help if you can make that transition smooth, makes a big difference. Well, do
It's
you
one of
have
the it's
like
one of the oh, I'm sorry. I was
oh,
just going
go
to say
ahead.
it's one of the biggest friction points. If you're a new franchisor, you're watching this, or just, if you're an established brand, you understand. One of the biggest friction points between the franchisor and the franchisee is when you go to make changes to the system. It's especially when you go to make technological changes, it can really cause some friction between Zora and Z. And navigating that process and really communicating well within your own brand is critical.
Mhm. Well, I was just going to see, can we take a look at it? Do you have any sort of short demo we can go through and learn about it?
Yeah. So what I thought I'd do for this is take 60 seconds, run through a couple slides, and then fire up actually what Thrive looks like in the platform and show you kind of everything that I've been talking about. But we talk about, Thrive helps franchisors. So if you're watching this and you're a franchisor, we help you create thriving franchisees. We feel really that in order to scale a brand and make it successful, your franchisees need to be kicking butt. And but just to check a couple of boxes, we are publicly traded. We're headquartered in Dallas, and we are members of the IFA. I sit on the supplier forum board. We spent the last few years really, really learning and working with franchises, and I believe we have an incredible franchise team. But when the kind of the why behind why Thrive exists within franchising is that the average franchisee uses 7 tools to manage the customer experience. And like everything that we've been talking about, if you think about from before, during, and after the sale, and think of your own franchisees and what they're using, there's 3 major components of the customer journey. There's communication, marketing, and payments. Really the sale behind Thrive is that if you look across the board there, it's an all-in-one platform. So we really help you manage that entire customer experience. You can standardize it at every location within your franchise brand by using our software. And one other tool that I will maybe have some time to show you during this recording, but for our franchisors, we provide them a multi-location reporting platform that actually sits on top. So if you think about it, you have 25 locations, 75, whatever, how many locations you have. Every single location would have a Thrive account, and they're managing the customer experience in that account. But the data points and the KPIs and the different things that you're looking for, the usage at the location level, rolls up to this product we call Hub, and it can help you track, top line revenue. It can help you track email, text, review campaigns, which clients are using it, appointments, different KPIs that you might have. So we have 2 really products there. So let me actually show you what the software looks like. So I'm going to show you guys a desktop or laptop version. We also have Thrive as an application that you can download on your smartphone. What I'm showing you here is just the simple login to Business, and we call it Business Center, but Thrive's Business Center, where your franchisee would log into this, right? And there's a simple dashboard that provides them an overview of, kind of the payments that are happening, calendar, social media, and whatnot. But you have this navigation bar down the left here. And in this navigation bar, there's a couple key things I want to show you. So one is the inbox. Here, all the communication that's coming from leads, current customers, VIP, whatever, the different types of customers that you might have, that's all pulled into one inbox. So you can be notified, if someone's following up with you via email, if they're coming in through social media, like Facebook or your Instagram business page, that can be pulled into here. Another key component is the calendar. And so here, this works similar to Calendly or any of the other tools that you might be aware of, but you would have your staff accounts down here. And then, this simply works just like any other calendar where you can create appointments, you can create group events, you can block off time, you can create recurring appointments. You can look at it from an event list view. But I think the core common piece of Thrive is the CRM, which is what I'm in now. And when you scroll down here, and let's just grab, this is a test account, so give me a little grace here, but let's say Allison Goad. We wanted to look at Allison Goad here. Allison's account, when I click on it, pulls up here, and it's got everything that you would need to kind of interact with this customer all in one place. So we've got the conversation tab here, where all my interactions with this lead would be hosted here. If you think about it, your franchisees might have employees that are interacting with their leads and customers and whatnot on their cell phone. And if that, employee finds a better option tomorrow and leaves, a lot of that interaction with that customer or lead might be in their cell phone and not stored in the cloud, which is really what you want. When you go to look at resales and different things that your franchisees might look at down the road, you want a lot of the interaction with leads and customers stored in the cloud so that the next person that, maybe takes over or however that works would have access to that data. But just simply here, you have the conversation. I can interact with Allison a variety of different ways, including email, text, Facebook Messenger. There's a few other channels in here as well. I can create notes. It would say Rick, or it would say Matthew Gourgeot or Lance Hood here. The employee that's leaving that note can be listed here. All her past and upcoming bookings, what those bookings were, how long they lasted, were they completed. You can look at the history of the client here. and then all the upcoming bookings, like maybe you have recurring appointments in the future. Maybe she has an upcoming booking in, 2 days. That would be there. Payments. Every business model is a little different, but if you have, payments that you've received over a certain amount of time, you can scroll back and look at all the times that Allison has paid you for the certain products and services that you need, that you offer. You also have, maybe you've delivered some estimates to her that she may or may not be pondering over right now. And then if you have, due invoices or recurring payments and somebody has missed a payment or whatnot, you have overdue and due payments listed here too. And then lastly, documents. So this would be any documents that you would share with the customer, they would share with you. You've added internally to their profile here, maybe for other employees to see that are working within the system. But that's all here in one simple to use dashboard. And if you look at Allison over here, she's got the status of customer. You can customize your statuses within Thrive to fit your business model. So, lead, customer, VIP, the different statuses that you might have to fit your workflow, you can customize that there. And then we have a tagging system over here to the left, which just simply means that you can group the different people in your CRM. So she may be part of various groups. She may, fit a certain mold. And so you would tag her, let's just say residential. And then anytime you went to send any marketing communication for any kind of residential work, that would go to Allison because she's part of that tag. If you've used other softwares, you're familiar with a little bit of tagging. If you've used MailChimp or Constant Contact or some of these others, but it's just a good way to organize your CRM. So, any questions, Lance? I know this is kind of a demo, but before I move into anything else, did you have any questions?
Well, I mean, so am I able to sit there and trend like my customers that are doing the most revenue with us, customers that are the most unhappy, and look for those trends not only in customer interactions, but also in, different locations. This location is killing it. Try to figure out, what's going on so that we can create those best and next practices and share it with the rest of the people.
No, it's a great question. So when I'm interacting, like when Thrive's interacting in the franchise space, we normally start with the franchisor. So our customer is the franchisor, but the user of the software is really the franchisee. But our hub tool that I was telling you about earlier, that's the thing is like when you're looking at all your, locations and so, let's say your top 10%, it's like, what are the top 10% really doing? And that's really where you can draw the correlation where if you're looking at hub and you see that someone, let's just say is leading in getting appointments, right? You can dial in and see, okay, well, what is leading to that appointment? Is it the way that they send out their marketing campaigns? Is it the way that they respond to, form fills, like how quickly they respond to form fills and whatnot? You can start to really draw those best practices and KPIs in the system. So that answers your question to a certain extent. We don't have like NPS scores or anything like that inside of Thrive natively. But I think when you look at top line revenue, who's generating the most revenue? Okay, well then look just a little bit deeper, like what's actually leading to the customers that are leading to that revenue, right? The marketing that may be leading to that. You can start to draw those conclusions inside our platform.
Right. I just would love to spend time just researching the top performing and bottom performing franchisees and then the top performing and bottom performing customers. Because I think, there's just when you have all this data in this situation like this, it's just a gold mine for your company. I just love that.
Yeah.
Um, and I like also with the communication, I love the fact that you have all the social stuff, but you also have reputation. So you're watching that stuff so that you're not dropping the ball, on reputation and stuff. So I like it. Any other quick things that you want to show everybody real quick before we jump back?
Yeah, I think just for the sake of time, if you're looking down this navigation bar here to the left, we do have marketing. Marketing includes like automated campaigns and email campaigns that you can set up to on a client's birthday, like 48 hours before their birthday, they get a coupon or an email from you. Or, when they become a lead, they get such and such email. Like, you can set up those workflows for the types of leads and customers that you want, just like you can with any other email platform out there. You can manage your social media, like you were saying in here, and your reputation, soliciting, also responding to reviews in the platform as well. And so I think that if you're a small business and you're serious about driving a great customer experience, you have to use tools like this. It's just whether you want to use 7 or 8 different tools with 7 or 8 different 800 numbers and 7 or 8 different logins, or if do you want it all corralled on one platform. And not to mention, those 7 or 8 different tools need to be connected via API and Zaps and all this other stuff to make sure that it doesn't work or break. So that's really it. There's really, this kind of stuff is not optional for interacting with the modern consumer. Consumers kind of expect a great experience, before, during, and after the sale. It's just really on you as the franchisor on, do you want your franchisees using multiple different tools, or do you want to consolidate the tech stack for them so that, they don't have to be a superstar tech person to really navigate your concept?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know that it is a hassle because I've done it myself with dealing with having trying to use Zaps to hold things together, and then something changes and all of a sudden it's broke, and I got to figure out when it broke and try to get all that back information put back in. And I do like it when the system is all talking and throughout and making all those connections, because connecting it is a headache. I like technology, but not necessarily the process of setting it up and then maintaining discombobulated technologies for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I
Well,
would just say, when you're trying to scale the brand, um, when you're working with franchise brokers, or maybe you're doing franchise development yourself, or needing someone from MIT or some Ivy League school to operate your brand is gonna be really tough to scale. You just need good old average Americans that they're not looking for a really complicated system. And technology is supposed to help them, not weigh them down. And so that's really why we exist, is to help a franchisor make their system turnkey, by providing easy to use tech that any entrepreneur can use.
well then, Matthew, what is the quick process of, say somebody clicks on the link, we have a link for them, they can click on it, they land on your site. What's the process of going from just getting started to getting it implemented?
Yeah, so there will be a link. You click on it. You can schedule a time to meet with our franchise team, or we simply do a discovery call and do a more in-depth demo with you to show you the product and how it works, and if it does fit your business model, and if we're a good fit for what you do. If you're watching this, we help service-oriented franchise brands. So we don't work in food. We don't do QSRs, but it's mainly the service space. And so yeah, just click the link, get a demo, and learn more about you. We don't have a really pushy sales process. We will bring in our product team along with our sales team to make sure that we're a good fit. And then if it is something that you want to do, we have done this with countless brands to help them transition from what they currently have to this vision of Thrive that I just laid out. And you need a really good team to help you do that, because on average, franchisors have anywhere from 3 to 8 employees at the corporate location. It's not like there's hundreds of people to help you with that transition. And we're an extension of your team, and we're really, I think, have the proven track record to help you transition from one platform to the next.
So, Matthew, we talked about how people who get started through this link, we can basically, you have a franchise template that you help people develop, and that's normally $1,000 a year, and you guys can waive that for everybody. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Yeah. So if you think about, I don't know how many locations, as a franchisor you're watching this, you would have, but once we work with your team and we determine how you plan to leverage Thrive within your brand, we have a product or a feature within our product it's just called a franchise template. And essentially what you can do is you can customize all your settings, brandings, logos, all that stuff on this template. And that way you can clone all your current and future accounts off that template. So when you pick up a new franchisee, instead of having to go in from scratch and create their account, everything just spins off that template and you create a new account within really minutes. We in our contracts with franchisors, that's $1,000 a year. And if you're watching this and you take part with Lance and his company, we are waiving that fee. So that $1,000 a year fee will be completely complimentary for anyone that watches this and takes advantage of the offer.
Thank you, Matthew. That's awesome. Nice. Perfect. Well, thank you, Matthew. I appreciate it. Everybody, you can go to the link by this video, get started, and they will take care of you. Thanks again, Matthew.
Thanks, Lance.